Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. This is basically a follow-up. We mentioned on this channel that we're not a typical review channel. We don't just get a vehicle once, have to make it all, edit it all perfectly, and then that's our statement on the car. The way we do things here is if you have questions about a car, we're going to pull it back into our video bay and continue to take your questions and answer them as best we can, and continue to make videos on this car so that you guys are prepared for what you want to know about the car, even if you can't see it on a dealer lot right now. So that's what this video is all about. And just so you know, we do these videos live. So if you've never been into a live video before, welcome to our live video. If you are not watching live with us and you just want to get to the content of this video, feel free to skip ahead to the 3-minute mark where we'll cover a bunch of that content at the 3-minute mark. In the meantime, we're going to let our live audience join, and I'll show you how to join us live if you want. So let me jump over here. If you want to join us live, we're going to get to this one, guys. All right. If you want to join us live, you go to our YouTube channel, and at 2 o'clock exactly on Eastern time, you refresh this page, and you're going to see that video right there disappear and replaced by our live video. You just click into that. You're gonna have to watch a quick little ad. While they're running that ad, I'm gonna run a real quick ad for ourselves while I skip this one. Ooh, I've never heard of this one before. All right, if you are in Ontario and you are looking to buy a vehicle, then connect with me. There'll be a link in this description after the video is done, and I will hook you up with our team at Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai, or Brantford Kia. Those are the 3 dealers that support us, and we'll talk about that. Somebody just asked me something about a charge in the cold of the Ioniq 5. We're going to cover that in this video because I've kept this car as cold as I can possibly keep it. All right, so what's going on? News and notes. Real quick thing, when I talk about dealing with the other dealers, one of the things that's changing, and I know this doesn't matter to a lot of you people watching from around the world, but those of you that are local or in Ontario, one of the things that's changing is we are now kind of working on a system where I'm going to be working closer with the 2 Hyundai dealers. Of course, I work inside Brantford Kia, where we film here in the Brantford Kia studio, but I'm going to be working with our sales team in the Brantford Hyundai stores as well, more closely. So we're basically going to create a team of experts that are kind of Peter-approved experts, I guess you would say, that are going to be able to work with you. So even if you just walk into the store there, if you're going in and you've seen one of my videos, ask for some of the sales team that works with me, and you'll get a team of people that work with me that, you know, just sort of people that kind of pass my test of treating you the way I think they should be treated at a dealership. So that's one thing we're going to start this year, and that's a new thing, and I think it's a good thing for you guys. To me, I'm all about just being honest with you guys, telling you what I think, and I want a sales team that kind of works well with that as well and treats you the way I could just, you know, get my mom to treat them. So all right, a bunch of good questions coming in. I can't read them all right now, but I'll get to them in just 1 second. So we're almost at that 3-minute mark. Do me a favor, if you're a regular with us, just hit that like button early. For everybody else, I'll try to earn your like as we go, but here we go. All right, Ioniq 5. So the reason this car is dirty is because I just finished a video about the most controversial thing, and I'm going to show you what that video is right now. And it's, let me just show you over here, and it is something I want you to watch after you're done this video, and it is this: addressing the Ioniq 5's one major flaw. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. It's the rear wiper. This car doesn't have one. I know, the horrors, eh? Let me just take you over here for a second. Hey, Teddy Bear, how you doing? There's another car that doesn't have a rear wiper that I never have to answer questions about. See that? That's a Tesla. It doesn't have a rear wiper either. And other than the video that I just posted, that's the extent of my conversation. Should it have a rear wiper? Sure, definitely should have a rear wiper. Does it matter? No. What matters the most is the technology in this car, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and all the other features. So what I did is I put a thing out on my Instagram yesterday saying, if you have questions about this car, let me know. And rather than posting those questions publicly like I often do, I kind of kept them kind of to myself to just try to address in this video. Now, not every question is one I have an answer for, but you guys asking me questions really helps me out as far as being able to find answers for you and being able to get other stuff. So a lot has been asked in this on Instagram, and a lot has been asked of me just overall in the comment section, and I'm going to try to go through some of that. And I'll be very honest, I was going to spend a little bit more time with this car before we got to our video, but this is the problem with doing live videos. Sometimes I have to deal with a customer or help somebody out, and I don't have the time to prepare. So there are some things that I was hoping to have answers for that I may not have yet, but we're going to go through this and go again and again and again and show you what we can. So here we go. Inside this car, let's start with some of the technology. One of the first things people ask me is when this car regenerative brakes. Basically, when you let off the gas pedal or the throttle pedal, the car does brake. And what happens with the brake lights? And essentially what you need to know is when you are decelerating, if there's any kind of braking action, in other words, if the car is not just letting itself coast, if it's regenerative braking through regenerative braking or through wheel braking, the rear brake lights will turn on. And I'm just going to really quickly show you the rear brake lights for a second because some people have had a little question about that. So I'm not wearing a mic today. I apologize. This won't be clear, but you're going to see the perimeter lights come on there, and then the brake lights are on the inside. And I just want to point out that the perimeter lights are also going to get bright when you brake. So I'll just quickly show you that. I'll be right back to the camera. Do that quickly. All right. All right. I just realized. All right, fun part is I just realized that I did not bring my key with me. So the key's right here. Couldn't start the car, but that's okay. So when you brake, those brake lights will come on. When you regenerative brake, those brake lights will come on. Now, in my vehicle, and this is the one thing I didn't have time to test out, I have a Kia Soul EV. You can also use the paddle shifters, which are regenerative brake adjustments features. You can hold down the left side one, and the car will brake, the brake lights will come on. However, when I come to a stop with that paddle being held in, the brake lights turn off. I haven't had the time to check that, but I believe the way it works with the iPedal system on this car, essentially the one pedal driving, I believe they still stay on. That is something I still have to confirm. So when you come to a stop in this car, until I confirm it, and even just without, I do think that once you're stopped, you should probably put your foot on the brake just for safety. You want to have to move your foot from the brake to the gas or the throttle to do that. So just so you know, Peter forgot the key as usual. I know, this is not my strong point. It's been one of those days. While I'm here, I just want to show you the key fob as well. Some people haven't seen it, so there you go. You can hold it to remote start it, but really that's just remote climb it. You can also use your cell phone to do it. You can hold this to open the charge door. We are going to charge this car in this video, but before it warms up too much, let's talk about winter range. It's like -8 here today. It's just silly cold. This car hasn't been in for that long, so it's going to give you a pretty true reading of actual range in the cold. Now, I want to clarify a couple things. You guys know that when I do a gasoline car, I always talk about the fuel mileage being not accurate. It's the same thing with an electric car. The range on this car is probably going to be worse sitting at a dealer than it will driving with you. So is the video buffering for anyone else, or is it just me? Yeah, guys, let me know if it's buffering. If it's buffering, I'll switch to my own private network and we'll make it work better. So if anybody else is having problems, let me know with the clarity of this video. Yeah, so regenerative braking operates the rear lights. We know that. So just let me know if the quality's good. No, it's just you. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to dip through here. One of the things we're going to talk about is the overall range. So there's a couple ways to just sort of figure out what the range is going to be. You always have, like this car right now is 124 kilometers until it needs to be plugged in. It's not at a high percentage. It's at 36%, it says down here. So you can quickly do some math and go, hey, it doesn't reach that, the range that it's advertised. So let's just click in and show you 3 seasons of the year, this car is likely to meet or exceed. I have been in this car when this exact display that I'm about to show you reads over 500 kilometers. And it was much warmer those days, and we hadn't had salespeople ripping this thing out or test drives ripping this thing out for various reasons. So as we take a look here, what we're going to do is we're going to tap into this, and it's going to show you if you want to charge this car to 100%, that's going to be just 383 kilometers. Now, currently this car says it's 10 degrees in here. It's actually warmer than 10 degrees in here. It did come from outside, and it's reading essentially what was about -8 earlier, and there's a wind chill and it's cold. And people have driven this car probably more aggressively on average than you will have, or they have idled it, or they've, tried the acceleration a lot more times than you would try it in a normal driving once you own this car. So 383 in the winter is what you're seeing for this car right now. And I think there's a real world example. It's probably a little bit better than that. And that's, again, this is if it's full. Now, what I'm actually looking at in the screen here is a screen that allows you to adjust the charge. So let's say we go to an AC charger and we only want to charge it to 80%. Well, then you can do that. And at 80%, you're going to have about 299 kilometers. So you can adjust it. A lot of us who own EVs regularly charge to 80% or so, sometimes 90% or so. And then when we need it, we'll charge to 100%. So it's a very easy screen to get to. You can change that if you want. And the only reason we do that is Is that the long range battery or the essential trim? So this is the long range rear wheel drive vehicle. So yeah, this one gets like, oh, I feel like it's 480 or something like that kilometers, but I know, oh man, I should have had that memorized before I jumped in here. Sorry guys, I was doing a whole bunch of other things before I started. And again, that's the issue with live videos. Sometimes I have to run. Anyways, yes, this is long range. So you guys will remind me, is it 480 or so on this car? 480 something, 488, there we go, 488. I'm always close, but to be exact, you have to be precise on the internet, right? So thanks for that, 488. So again, you're losing about 100 kilometers of range in the coldest of winter days. Now again, I always get asked if I live in Edmonton or Winnipeg or whatever else, what's it going to be at minus 30? First of all, it's not minus 30 all that often, and I know that it is minus 30, and I don't have a way of predicting that for you. It starts fine in the winter, it runs fine, and the big thing about an electric vehicle in the winter, and here's a true story of my house today. My wife drives our electric vehicle. I drive the Santa Cruz. I said to her, can I take your vehicle today? She said to me, why? And I said, because you're staying at home, because COVID stuff with kids are home right now, and because it heats up quicker. Before I leave the driveway, I feel heat coming out of my electric vehicle. The seat heaters happen to be cloth seats. These ones are cloth seats as well. And it warms up quicker. So that is my preference, is I like to drive an electric vehicle in the winter because the inside heats up quicker. And this is something that you have. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you here. I get asked a lot about the vehicle to load. So vehicle to load, this vehicle does not come with vehicle to load. But this vehicle is... does have a vehicle to load setting on here, which is half answering the question you guys have asked me. Some of you have said, I think if I just buy a different cord, this vehicle is capable of vehicle to load. And that's what I'm tending to believe now as well. I haven't got an official answer from anybody yet, but now I'm going to go back and ask them, because it does seem like this is the vehicle to load setting. The software is already here, and now we're just talking about a plug. So that is in there. That is something that, again, somebody's asked me, and we're just going to try to go through here. One thing that I think is a lot more controversial than not having a rear wiper is this right here. You have to go to a separate screen just to turn on your heated seats. I feel like that would be nicer if it's in here. It's really not the end of the world to turn it on. You can set some of these things to turn on, and it works. It works fine. It's just a little bit different than it has been in the past, and it's not my favorite feature. The other thing we talked about is you guys have asked in here, can these screens be blacked out? And I mistakenly forgot while I was filming the live video. I had done it before a live video. But yeah, to change the screen to the black theme, you can do it in a couple different ways. You can set it to go black right away, and there it is. It's now black. And it is truly black. Sometimes the camera makes it look a little different. So if you want a darker theme for whatever reason, you can. If you want to keep it on, I'm going to put it to white because it's a little easier to read on the thing. There we go. If you want to schedule it, you can schedule it as well. Now, I still think they should tie this to like sunset, half an hour before sunset, half an hour after sunset, somewhere in that range. Maybe they'll do that in a future software update, but right now it's white or black, or you can schedule it to change at a different time of day. And again, the only reason I think the time of day is weird is because like right now the sun sets at what, like 5 o'clock or something like that, where in the middle of summer it sets like 9 o'clock here. So I think that's something that they could change, but there is something there. Screensavers here is all the same as our regular stuff. So split screen is the other thing. So when you have the split screen, this side of the screen can be displaying various things, and it displays all of these. If I didn't want it to show my compass, for instance, I could unclick that, and I'll show you what I mean right now when I go in here. So we're going to go just over to our, where's the map button here? Oh boy, I'm looking for a map button. Oh, that's because I'm not going back far enough. There we go. If we hit the map button there, sorry about that, guys. I'm just looking through my camera. So we're going to cancel this. If we hit the map button, this is our 1/3 screen. So remember when I said you can turn off something like the compass? This is what I'm talking about. I don't want the compass there. So you can cycle through just the information that matters to you. So if you want to cycle through the weather and your radio and that's it, then you can do that. Or weather radio and just your EV information, you can do that as well. So you can customize this 1/3, 2/3 thing very well and make that work. And there we go. The white screen will be bright at night, someone says. Yeah, so in my Santa Cruz, I have some white gauges. I have a similar style display. I have a smaller display. Mine's a 10 1/4 inch screen. This is 12.3, but I have some white round gauges. And at night, I prefer to switch them to the darker style trim just because it's a little bit less glare. I haven't actually driven this car at night. I'm going to ask to take it one night just so I can drive it at night and do that. But I don't know if it'll be a huge issue with these screens. They do dim nicely, but like I said, if you want to switch to that black thing, you can, and that's why I say, for me, I'd like it to be tied to something else. So a little bit of information there. One other thing that I pointed out in the past, I said that these were touchscreen style buttons, and that's a bit of a lie. There's no separation in here. I like how I said it's a bit of a lie. It's either a lie or it's not, Peter. Anyway, so we're gonna go over here. They are actual physical buttons. Like I am pressing this in. I don't know if you can see on the bottom there. I'm actually physically pressing that. So the whole thing is like a single button, but it senses where your finger is through a touch screen. So I don't think I was clear on that before. Whereas, you know, these are tactile buttons, and this here is a tactile button here as well. And that just means that it's just the whole thing is a button. So it senses where you are. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, we're 15 minutes through. I've got notifications coming up, so I can't see. Okay, we got 103 people on. We only got 47 likes. Let's do it, guys. Let's go for 100 likes. I'm going to go try to answer some of your questions now. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to go park the car in a different way. Oh, the other thing I want to show you is just the gear shift lever. Gear shift looks like a column shift. Don't let your 3-year-olds come in here who know about column shift cars, although most 3-year-olds don't, because this is not a column shift. This is a turn to adjust. So we're going to drive it forward for a second. I'm just going to bring it a little closer to our charger here. I am going to plug it in because I want to show you one little thing that I think is cool, and it is something you can change. We're going to go back to reverse here. Very easy to do. Backup camera. Again, those of you who want a better, those of you who want, I better not crash this car there. That'd be funny. Those of you that want a better rear view wiper, you have a backup camera. That should answer a lot of your questions. And all right, so we're going to park this awkwardly like this. Even though it's in my way, it should be good for what we need to do. And we're going to plug the car in. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Do the tactile buttons work with gloves on? I think they will, but that's a great question. Maybe not, because it has to sense where your finger is. I'm not sure, because it feels to me, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. It feels to me, oh, somebody just said yes, so there we go. It feels to me like it would sense which side is being pressed. So I feel like it'll work with gloves because there's some delineation here. There's a little solid point there. So there you go. Somebody says my wife drove it and it works, so there you go. Even if it doesn't, I don't know how often you're gonna be driving with gloves on with the heated steering wheels. So I do think it will though, so is the short answer. All right, let's jump in here, and I'm gonna go back to your questions, and we're gonna plug this car in a second because it does something that a lot of people are maybe surprised about. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, let's flip actually we'll keep the camera on here for a second. All right, I'm gonna try to answer your questions as best I can. I always miss questions, guys. It's not on purpose. I do my best to catch as many as I could. Okay, you guys are making fun of my lies. All right, so on I-5 in person, it was outside in the cold, had 35% state of charge and 89 kilometers range. If linear, that would be 100. So yeah, it's not linear all the time, the charging. My electric car too, let's just play false scenarios here because it's easier to just describe. Let's say I have 100 kilometers left and I get in my electric car that I drive many days and I crank the heat to full. That state of, or the range might drop to 50 kilometers from 100 kilometers just by me cranking the fans and demanding a bunch of heat. Once that car warms up, it actually gives me back predicted range because it realizes you're not going to do all 100 kilometers of your driving at full heat. It's going to eventually turn the heat system down. So I do recommend on an electric car to use your automatic setting on the climate control. Don't set it to 23 and full heat on without being on the automatic because it will use more range than you need to. The climate system works with the range system, so let's just do that and it'll be better for you. It's not always linear is the short answer with the state of charge thing. So yeah, you will see a drop in the winter, and we've showed it here today. I think that's an most honest way we can do it. 383 kilometers down from 488 is the predicted range, so that's a real world thing. Per ride, per week, per month, does it break down? Oh, somebody's asking me a super detailed question. What's the lifetime kilowatt hour per mile? What? I don't know. This car would not be accurate. I feel like this car might be a hair less efficient than my Kia Soul EV, but I can't confirm that yet because I haven't done some of the same driving on the same days and that kind of thing. It is a significantly bigger car than the Kia Soul EV, so it would be fine if it did, but I haven't done essentially a fuel efficiency test. I haven't done that on this car yet. Okay, no four-door sedans. Okay, so we're talking about that. The front trunk, why the rear-wheel drive have small box and why the glove box is so crappy compared to the... Oh, yeah, you guys are asking about the glove box, and to be honest, I haven't paid attention to the European glove boxes, so I'm going to show you the love box. I'm going to show you the glove box, not the love box, and you guys are going to tell me why it's crappy and why it's not crappy. I guess it's smaller? Is that what your issue is? It's pretty big. It's really deep. So I'm not sure what the issue is with the glove box, but more than one person has told me that we wish we had the European glove box, and I don't know what that issue is. The other person asked me about the center console, which we can talk about in a little bit later. Oh, Europe has a glove drawer. Oh, well, aren't they fancy? It's not a drawer. Some is a box, some is a drawer. Oh, okay. It opens like in a drawer, not, oh. Well, I'm going to be honest. Do we care? Does it matter that it's not a drawer? Doesn't matter to me. Okay, anyways, so there is this center console here. Some people say it should slide, and it will on higher trims. This one doesn't slide because of the trim level, so that's just what we're looking at. Some have a slide-out drawer. I've never heard anybody say to me, give me the car with a slide-out drawer glove box. To be honest, most people don't open their glove box even when they own the car. Okay, so that's cool. Ours has this style. It is what it is. I don't know why they chose to go with a drawer in Europe and not a drawer here, but there we go. Okay. Gas taxes and other stuff. Peter forgot the key, how unusual. Curious if the range efficiency metrics also track range differences, kilowatt hour efficiency between various regeneration braking modes. Blah, 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 blah. Short answer is yes, your range will change based on drive modes. Drive modes also affect regeneration modes. Regeneration will recapture a certain amount of thing. It bases on how you drive, right? So you don't need the I pedal system, in other words, that one pedal driving to create maximum regeneration. You just might have to move your hand or your foot to the brake pedal to create some braking. The difference is it's going to regenerate the same. If you drive two vehicles side by side, one's in a I pedal mode and the other's in less range efficiency, as long as you stay side by side, you're going to get the same regeneration, right? You're just one person's going to use their brake pedal, the other person's going to release the throttle pedal to do that. So I hope that makes sense to you. But yes, drive modes affect overall range because one is more aggressive, and regeneration can affect range. And it's going to predict your future range based on a number of factors, including your past driving. So it knows kind of how the car is going to use power, also based on your past driving. So if you're a crazy aggressive driver and you drive the car for a year and you get in someone who's a crazy efficient driver and you get a car, just because you switch, you know, one car is going to read more than the other, but that doesn't mean it will get that. Does the car have voice commands demo? We're going to do an explanation of the voice that it does, for instance, when you plug it in, so we'll show you that. Lead models, vehicle to load, Ultimate has it on board. So vehicle to load we're still looking into, but it does have some software, which is good. Never taught to click. Oh, I don't know what that comment says. I'm sorry. Why the Ioniq 5 is the only EV with huge range difference between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, which is 74 kilometers difference. The short answer to that is the way they do the systems. The all-wheel drive adds traction. It is going to add some weight as well, so there's some differences that way. And it's the way they separate the way they separate the power is basically why there's a range difference. It comes down to comes down to the philosophy of what makes a good EV, and different companies have different reasons for doing that. That's the short answer. I could maybe do a better video on that later. Can you use voice control to turn the seat heating on and off? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I've never tried that. That might not be something I want to do live because I want to make sure it works. I know how to do it, but we're going to look into doing some voice control commands. So it sounds like you guys are asking me do a voice control video. So short answer is sure, we'll do that, but not right now. Steel wheels for snow tires available. Reading some using 17 or 18-inch steel wheels. What's the recommendation? I don't know the exact recommendation. I know that the wheel and tire size is the same as some Santa Fe's. So the tires should be swappable. I assume the rims could be swappable too. One issue I had with my Kia Soul EV is on the Kia Soul EV, on the regular Kia Soul, I could go down to a smaller rear brake with a steel wheel than I could with the electric vehicle. The brake size in the rear is different. Rear brakes on these cars, on the front wheel drive ones, are a little bit larger. So I'm not sure how small you can go on those tires, but we can start to find out. You can see the brakes in here are actually pretty big. These are massive wheels, and the brakes aren't like buried down in there. So it's still got pretty big brakes right there, which is worth pointing out. All right, I want to get back into not just answering your questions because I know that makes for a bad video. We got like 18 likes to get to 100 likes. So if you guys haven't left a like yet, you can do that. Battery warranty, 7 years, 60-ish thousand kilometers. So in Canada, we have a different warranty than you guys do in the States. The car's warranted for 5 years here, but 7 years on EV-related components. So there is a longer warranty on some of those components. It's not something that concerns me as far as longevity or anything like that. Someone earlier said if you use the tactile warmer temp, it will bring it up to seat heater feature. Yeah, okay, so yeah, of course, you can use the tactile warmer. Yeah, there is a button on the dash that brings up the seat heater type buttons, which is what you can do. And it's different that there's no seat heater button on the dash, is I guess what I was trying to see. Yeah, 10 years, 100,000 miles in the States. It's a little different here. Where did we say? I get to see this live. Yes, you do. What's the ETA on ordering Ioniq 5 today? Best thing to do is to reach out to me and talk to our sales team, because a lot of these things for a lot of these vehicles change regularly. I think, and somebody was asking me about the EV6, I think the EV6 and the Ioniq 5 are now similar in time frame if you can get in line early enough on both of them. The initial ones that you're going to see coming in are all sold vehicles, so I don't want to post on video and be wrong about that, but our sales team will let you know. Any ride difference between the 19 and 20-inch wheels? I haven't driven the 20-inch wheels, but I will tell you that in many of our vehicles, for instance, the Santa Cruz has 18 and 20-inch wheels. The idea of there being a significant ride difference between a tire sidewall that is thicker or thinner is kind of an outdated, semi-outdated idea, because these cars have extremely strong steel and much stronger than many cars not that many years ago. And you're able to tune the suspension far more precisely than you ever used to be. So in my Santa Cruz, for instance, there's very little ride difference. In fact, I don't notice any ride difference between my 18-inch winters and my 20-inch summers because the suspension is tuned so well to tune out those bumps. So yes, in theory, the sidewall can be used as a piece of the suspension component, and a smaller sidewall can give you a little bit different ride. But I don't think you're going to notice a whole lot difference, because of a modern suspension is designed to deal with those supple things in the suspension, whereas older suspensions used to allow the tires to do the supple, the small little bumps, and the suspension to do larger bumps. Modern suspensions kind of cancel that out. So you're getting to the point now where the tire size matters far less than it ever used to. Okay, here's what we're going to do, guys, real quick. Still a bunch of questions there. I see them. I'm going to just quickly try to charge this car. Hopefully I can reach the cord as far. If not, I'll have to drive the car forward. So I'm going to just show you what I'm going to do here. Does it have fog lights? Not this trim level. Oh, this key's not going to work. That's my Kia Soul key. Let's get the actual key for this car. All right. It's going well, guys. Going well. All right, here's the key car. One thing I will say, I really love this open floor design. Some people aren't going to like that, but the illusion of space here is excellent. And they talk about the future of these EVs, like the Ioniq lineup in Hyundai, about being very much like sitting in a couch or something like that. These chairs are very couch comfortable. They're large, they're comfortable, but they're also still supportive. You can see good side bolsters so you can drive around a corner. The Nissan Cube used to say you're going to feel like a living room, but it had no side bolstering at all and used to fall out of the seats going around corners. That's not a problem here. And if you carry a purse or a large lunch bucket like I do, it fits really nicely in the middle. So the feeling of openness in this car is really cool, and that fully flat floor, I don't know, it's just very cool. All right, we've got the right key here. Let's show you how to charge it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this button to pop that door, because that's one way to do it. I can also touch it, but let's just use the button today. So watch that drawer. I'm going to press it now. Holding. There it goes. Kind of fun. So I really like this display, because remember we were at 38-ish so percent, 36-ish percent. You can see, you know, like we're less than the half, right? We've only got 3 lights lit out of 10 there. So is that 10? 4 plus 3 is 7 plus another 3. Oh yeah, that is 10. So there we go. So that's me doing math live on the internet. Not a good idea. So you have this charge door. It's open like that, and it gives you an idea. Okay, 3 lights. I'm 30-ish percent full. So now what I'm going to do is, if you want to charge this on my charger here, what I have to do with this level 2 charger is I have to quickly turn it on. We just have it defaulted to off on this when we set it up here. And so I'm going to pull this down. I should be doing this with 2 hands, but you know what? I only have 1 hand free. So you're going to grab this, and come on, camera, you can do this. You're going to come around over here, and I want you guys to listen now, because I have the voice set up to a medium height. It could be a louder thing, but listen as the car talks to me.
Charging started.
I don't know. Could you hear that, guys? It said charging started. So the noise of that comes from the front of the car. It's harder to hear, but it says charging started. And you can make that a soft voice, a loud voice, lots of things. And it's pretty cool, because I don't know that everybody's going to want that on, but I always used to tell people when they plugged in their old Konas or their Souls, plug it in the front. I want you to look at the lights on the dash here and make sure they light up, because if they didn't light up, then you knew you had an issue with your charger, or maybe you scheduled it to start somewhere else. So this is kind of fun, because you've got a visual indication that it's working. You can hear it clicking and other stuff, but you also have the option of having the car say charging started, and that's kind of fun. I like it. It's kind of cool. All right, I know I haven't answered all your questions. I'm not sure how to make this video. So here's the thing, guys. I make videos for a living, And I know I'm not entertaining. That's just not my shtick. I try to be informative, so I apologize if this isn't the most entertaining video, but I'm hoping you guys are getting some information on here that's useful. I'm gonna go through the questions again, and I know that makes for poor video, but I'm gonna try to answer those questions again. And then some of the questions you've asked, we're gonna make future videos. So do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, because I wanna provide you with the best information. And the more people that I can have that are interested in this car, that have questions about it, it just gives me a great database of information where I can figure out what people are asking, and it makes us a better dealer, it makes me better at what I do, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, okay, I'll try to go through the skim the questions. This is not the most efficient way to do it, but we'll do what we can. No way it's 6 to 8 weeks from order to delivery. I call BS. Yeah, whoever said 6 to 8 weeks, that's not likely in Canada. That would surprise me. Level 2 charger, what's the amps it can draw? Car can control the charging time, battery fill, etc. Really don't need programmable level 2 charger. Okay, so I don't remember off the top of my head how much this can draw on a level 2 charger. I will say it's not my personal recommendation to get a Wi-Fi heavy-duty crazy controller level 2. You can pay a lot of money for that, and maybe that is worth it for you. But to me, most of your charge controlling, you're gonna do with your electric vehicle. So paying for your charger to turn itself on or off at certain times, you can do that from the car, you can do that from the app. There are things. Someone says 30 to 40 amps. Well, this one's, it can go 50 amps for sure in our other cars, so there is that. Can I show the cargo area more? Yeah, absolutely. So let's do our teddy bear test while we're here. But yeah, sometimes people kind of go overboard on the charger. The charger, just because they can do lots of things, doesn't mean that practically you're going to use those. And I say that recognizing that somebody's going to come on here and trash me and go, no, I use my programmable smart charger all the time. And that's fine. But I think for a lot of people, it's not worth it to go for a crazy heavy-duty programmable Wi-Fi connected charger. I think most people are just going to use their car to do the basics. Again, it's just a fuel pump, right? You're just plugging it into your car, and that's really all it is. There's the rear cargo area here. There is a little bit of space underneath the floor here, not a lot. That's your tire mobility kit. We all love those. And of course, if you fold the seats down, which, you know what, let's just do that today. Let's fold the seats down and throw teddy bear in with the full seats down. So here's another example. That is how the door handle sits out. What if I want to get in and the door handle's not closed? Unlike Tesla, they're not going to get frozen in because you can press in here and pull out there. So you can see that. It's very easy to get to them. So let's just fold the seats down and we'll do our teddy bear test with the seats fully folded. They're not perfectly flat, but remember these seats can also slide back and forth. So if you slide it forward, you'll have a gap in here. Let me just show you what I mean. Oh boy, there we go. So now I've created a gap in there. You may or may not want that gap in there, but you do have the ability to slide them forward, whether you're seated in there or whether you're, oh, come on camera, whether you're seated or whether you are putting them down like this. So let's throw them down like that. One's back, one's forward, and we're gonna throw my teddy bear in. Only reason we use teddy bear as a trunk test tool is because he's consistent with everything we've done with every other video. So when we need to measure a trunk, we use our teddy bear, and teddy bear is a big dude. He's a really big dude. So let me just get him tucked up to the front seats here because I always try to put him at the front seats. And there we go. So there's a single teddy bear before you even reach the back of the seats here. His arm should be tucked in to be a true measurement the way we normally measure. And then you've got extra teddy bears. So it's a 1.5 teddy bear trunk with the seats up. It's a massive teddy bear trunk with the seats down. So cargo capacity is very good in this vehicle. And the opening is also very good. It comes right out. You do have some intrusion here by the lights, but again, in line with the wheel wells there. So very good, fairly wide. Just overall, it's much bigger. The car's much bigger in person than it appears in pictures sometimes. I think people think it's kind of like the old Hyundai Pony because it has that styling. It is a larger, small SUV, to be very fair. Okay, so there's that. Rear-wheel drive is one motor with less, rear-wheel drive is a single motor in the back. Okay, carrying a second motor and okay. Yes, all-wheel drive is a second motor in the front, and rear-wheel drive is 48, rear-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive 414. Yeah, I think that might be equipment levels as well. I don't know the exact reason for the range. Part of it is the way they set up. Everybody has ways to set up how they want that two-motor system to work, and it's the way they've programmed it to work. isn't the motor in the back bigger than the one in the front? Physically, I've seen this video. You know what? Best thing to go is go to my LA Auto Show from 2021. There's a playlist on our channel for that, and look up the eGMP platform, or just search YouTube for Kia Hyundai channel E-GMP. I do a video on it where you can literally see the platform. That's probably a better way of answering that question. So there's that. Do I do any Genesis review? Not right now. Maybe in the future, but right now we don't. Rust proofing and corrosion protection. Here's a good one. They do not recommend that you do something like a crown rust patrol. There actually is instructions from head office now on some of our EVs. Something like a crown rust control. Some of the reasons they don't recommend it is because they don't want you drilling into the vehicle. Other things is there are orange lines around this vehicle, orange power lines around this vehicle. And a technician working on it, an emergency crew working on it, they need to identify those orange ones, especially emergency crews. So they don't want you covering up with a black oil where you can't tell which ones are orange and which ones are gray. So that's one reason that they recommend not using certain types of rust control. I'm really probably not going to be the best one to do a video on that, but there are certain types of rust control to just be aware of and not use those kinds of things on. And your dealer will have a list of that when you buy the car if you want to see what's okay and what's not okay and why. There's a bulletin on that, so we can talk about that. Oops, going to come back around. All right, guys, we're 36 minutes in. We hit 115 likes, and there's 189 people on still right now. I'm going to go through just a couple more questions. If you have a question that I've missed that you want answered, re-ask it right now so that I can just scroll through the bottom and see if I can catch some of the good ones. Can't promise I'm going to answer everybody's question, but I'll do my best to answer. We'll stay on for 3-4 more minutes tops, and then we'll get going. And again, we will make videos, and I will do shorter videos. So can you get close to rear-wheel drive mileage with all-wheel drive if you drive an Eco? Probably. I haven't driven them. So here's the thing. I will do those range comparison type videos when I have the ability to drive an all-wheel drive. I tell you honestly my own opinions of things, but I also show you real world stuff. The specs, the only specs I have on these cars are the ratings for the range. And I know that I can exceed these range ratings when I drive the car. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, a whole bunch of stuff coming in. Let me just do what I can. Does Sorento SX, okay, so Sorento, yes, but we're going to talk about that in a different video. Somebody asked if Sorento has have a cell phone interactivity. Does it make a loud sound when in reverse? No. So okay. Let's keep talking, assuming we're still here. Hello? Oh, we're back. I don't know if we're back or not, so I'm just going to go. I'm going to do my best. We lost signal there for a second, so I'm going to assume that we're back there. Somebody was asking me about the beeping sound on the reverse. It seems like the American cars of the hybrids have a much larger beeping. I haven't noticed any of the issue here in Canada. They're fairly quiet. I have never heard somebody in the showroom compare and complain about the beeping in reverse. It does make that sound. It's required to by law. But it's not a loud thing. So there we go. Okay, we're back. Quality's low. I do apologize, guys. We're going to be wrapping it up in a second here. What's the lowest rim size you can put on the Ioniq 5 and EV6 trying to improve the mileage? I don't know. I know that the 19s are the smallest it comes with in the factory. I don't know if 18 inches are available because of the brake size, so I haven't been able to try that yet. Can we get options of the preferred model like 360 camera? So 360 camera is available in this car, but not on the trim line that we have today, which is why I'm not able to show that to you. Can someone with a 100 amp service with a fairly low electrical panel own one of these and charge at home easily? Yeah. Yeah, so you may, like I have a 100 amp panel at my house and I charge my car daily. I don't even have a level 2 charger because my garage only has 15 amps in the garage, and I've been running off the level 1 charger for 2.5 years. With no issues. I do recommend a level 2 charger. You may want to upgrade, but if you have a fairly loaded panel, are there things you can do to make things more efficient through your house too, without having to spend the money on investing in? Because sometimes when you just cut back some of your power usage in your house, it'll save you from increasing your thing. But a 100-watt panel is what I have in my house. I've been running with electric car for a year, so yes, you can do that. All right, we are 40 minutes in, guys. I appreciate all your likes. If you feel like leaving a like and you haven't yet, go ahead, do that. I do have to wrap this one up because I don't want to go too long, and I got a couple things I got to get done today as well. If you haven't seen my most controversial addressing the Ioniq 5's one major flaw, if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's 2.5 minutes. It's just about the car not having a rear wiper, and let's just get over it. I mean, should it have it? Sure. Does it have it? No. Should that keep you from buying it? 100% no. It's a fantastic car, and we're not going to talk about rear wipers anymore on this channel. So it's been fun. Base price $45,000, just a hair under $45,000, which gives you the Canadian government rebate of $5,000 on that. So just $44,999 or something like that is the base price of this car. And like I said, you'll get that $5,000 government rebate on every trim line. Yes, I'm correct. I've checked with Hyundai, and they've checked with the Canadian government. So there we go. That's all we're talking about today. Thanks, guys. We'll have a good one, and we'll talk to you again in the next one. Thanks for watching.